Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome to another episode of something. I don't know what. I keep changing my mind, and that's fine. Today, I have Stephanie with me, and she is one of the members of the Spiritual Entrepreneurs community. And the reason why I say it's of whatever podcast now, because I keep changing my mind. Even within the group, I keep changing my mind, and so that's fine because we grow, right? And so, Stephanie has been a member for quite some time, and this is the first time that I'm speaking with her, and it's always good to hear and speak to another human being. And thanks to the internet, I get to speak to her right now, and she is in Jamaica. She was from New York, and she is a online marketing strategist, single mom, and she has an 11-year-old child with her.
14 actually.
14, sorry. 11-year-old is mine, 14. Wrong channel.
Okay.
So tell us, why do you do what you do? Why are you in Jamaica in the first place?
I actually was born and raised here. I was born and raised here, and I moved to New York when I was probably about 21 years old. And basically it was to pursue my my undergrad and my graduate degrees in marketing, which is my background, that's my expertise, that's my passion, my love, that's how I work with my clients. And I ended up staying there for a few years, and I moved back here after I had my son in 2003. I wanted that family support, connection, groundedness that I knew that I would get here, as opposed to the fast-paced life, career-oriented life that I was living in New York. So yeah, this is home for me right now.
So you're one of those very unique people that didn't quit on their degrees. Because some people become, they spend 10 years to get a law degree, and then they go become a chef. And then some people spend 6 years, I don't know, on becoming a doctor, and then go become a vet. I don't know. So you're one of those rare people who actually kept on with their
in some way. I mean, I think with my degrees, I was expected to stay corporate. So some may say that I quit on my degree because I didn't, continue through the corporate ladder. But honestly, I had some shifts after I became a mom in terms of priorities, in terms of time, in terms of the effort and the energy that I could give to things. And I knew that I couldn't give the kind of energy and effort and dedication and time that I used to when I was single. And it wouldn't have been fair to any organization, and it wouldn't have been fair to me, because then I would have resented my time with them. So that's when I kind of changed direction and decided to continue marketing. So I haven't quit my expertise, but in a different sense, but from a coaching standpoint as an entrepreneur.
So when did you start this coaching business online, or your online business, after you had your child, or before that you had this foresight, okay, this is what I'm going to do?
After, when he was I started my first business when he was about 3, and that was actually a boutique publishing company. I started publishing a local real estate guide here in Jamaica called the Jamaica Real Estate Guide. Not a background in publishing, not a background in real estate, but I was still trying to find my way at the time, and I really had enjoyed that aspect of my role in marketing management in terms of dealing with collateral, dealing with graphics and physical stuff. And I always liked those magazines as a consumer standpoint. And at the time in Jamaica, they didn't have one. So I thought I would be the one to pioneer this magazine here locally. So I started that when he was about 3 years old. And I've switched a couple of times in terms of business model to where I am now. And I've been coaching since 2012.
Wow. So you shifted a few times. Was that like a similar trade, or it's like from bookstore to restaurant and the kind of like dramatic kind of shift? Was that a dramatic shift?
No, actually, I did the magazine, like I said, the real estate guide. And then because of marketing that magazine and getting in front of as many people as possible, which was my commitment to my clients, because they want the exposure, which is why they're paying me for advertising. And with that, I really dived into the online world and really dived into social media and became really attracted to it, really into it, studying it, doing it, executing it, using it for my own brand. And my clients saw that and asked me to manage their profile. So I actually switched from the magazine to social media marketing management, kind of a done for you type service as a consultant. And then I switched to coaching, where from a strategic standpoint, and I don't really work with that many real estate clients right now, but just other service-based business owners who are looking to get exposure online themselves and to be able to attract their ideal clients. So I guess you could say it's two pivots, and I feel like they all kind of led into each other. While they're very different, it kind of, I feel like it's been kind of a steady track based on what I was doing, where I was finding my footing, where I was finding my passion, what I was excited about, and how that kind of just led to where I am right now, which is, I feel like it's my sweet spot.
So how do you know, right? Like it's time to pivot.
I was getting bored. For me, I wasn't the passion, that initial passion when I started wasn't there anymore. I felt like things had become a little stale in each step of the way. So with the magazine and with the social media marketing,
Were you scared?
I didn't get that deal.
Were you scared to make that change? Were you scared?
I was.
You know, Stephanie, I mean, I think we share very similar stories. I think the intention never changed, but it's the way we execute change. And every time you shift, do you feel like you're going through the whole startup phase again?
Yeah, I do, because it's totally, each time I've changed, I would say it's totally different clients. And so I am starting at ground zero. You know, I built relationships right away, my first set of clients for the magazine. And then I was leaving them to go in another direction and having to build new relationships, get exposure to new people in order to build that other side of my business. So yeah, it was scary. It did feel like I was starting over each time. And it was.
I do feel the same way too, because it's like, you know, there are some businesses where it's like 10 years, they don't change, right? You know, some business coaches, they teach business coaching and they have never changed their kind of like thing for 10 years. You know, there was a point in time I was like wondering, why can't I be that? Because it makes things so easy, right? Like you started and then you just kind of like continue and it makes things really easy. But for me, it's like, oh, when I shift and I grow, I have new different ideas. And then you kind of like have to start from ground zero again. And it's like a brand new startup every time I'm starting up. And then finally I realized, you know what? I'm not one of those people because I cannot be in the box. Like I cannot be stuck in the box. I need creativity. And so when you have creativity, you have no new ideas, it's a brand new thing and that keeps you excited. So you said something which is true. If you are bored, then it's time to.
It's time to move on, right? If you don't have that passion, that excitement, if you're just feeling like, oh, you know, you're going along with the flow, just doing, you know, you kind of feel repetitive and you just don't have those feelings anymore.
Because marketing strategies are really boring, right? They are the same. They are the same, but it's your intention that fuels the marketing strategy. So if you are bored, then it's a time to change because marketing strategies are dead. But if you don't make it exciting, then you will get bored, and then you're not gonna be excited in your business, and of course your business is gonna fail.
Yeah, absolutely.
So since you have pivoted a few times, what are your personal tips in that transition period? You know, first of all, you realize that you're bored and then you get scared. Oh my God, this is it. Right? Like, oh my God, not again. You get that feeling. And then now what? What are your personal steps? Now what? Actually, you know what, Stephanie? What really drives me crazy? It's since we're doing marketing, it's the entire effort that you put on this marketing project. Then like, oh my God, it's gone to waste. That sometimes would be the thing that keeps me just, okay, let's just suck it up and just stick here, you know?
Yeah, because, and then I kind of felt that way, like I said, with those relationships that I had built, that integrity, that goodwill that I had built with those clients, you know, it didn't quite, I mean, I could carry it over because I have testimonials, but it didn't, it did feel like, oh, you know, it was all a waste spending time in that in that area because now I'm totally switching to another. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is kind of scary that way. But I just kind of each time that I was going to start over, just how should I say? I just made sure that my first step always was with my website, get my messaging intact in terms of what I want to do, how I want to present myself, and then start a whole new presence because I was techie that way too. So I did a lot of do it yourself type websites. And that was my first step. And then I just started to get visible. I started doing videos, I started writing, I started reaching out to people, even reaching out to old clients and asking them if they could refer me, letting them know my new direction and whether or not they could refer me to anyone or if they them my services. Yeah.
Right, that's a good point. So is that like to slowly ease into, in the process of easing, did you completely give that up or you slowly eased into it and then close this down?
I would say I eased into it because I did kind of each time I pivoted, I would say I still had one foot in the water of the old pool while I pursued things, so that I wouldn't have that dry period of no income coming in. I still had to kind of maintain the two things until I was able to totally transition out into my whole new direction in my new role. Yeah.
So the day has arrived that you decided to close this down. How was that feeling for you to like, okay, I think today's the day, or how do you know that it's time to shut it out? What's that day for you like?
It's more of dollars and cents for me when things start really gaining traction on the new side in the new business, and I have a footing. I know I have my clientele. I've built up a list. Built up some of those new relationships that you build along the way. Then I know that I'm safe, so to speak, and that I can say goodbye to the old, and hello to the new.
Mm. So one should still be very practical and emotionally matured before they, kind of like end things. So it's the same thing with
Yeah.
the job, right? It's the same thing with the job. I see so many people just suddenly quit their job and start another business. I think that's quite foolish because you don't know.
Exactly. You don't know how that's going to take off, and so you want to make sure that you have some income because when you start a business, as we both know, and a lot of people watching are going to know that you don't just get into the black on day one when you open shop. It takes some time to get to that point. So if you have a 9 to 5 and you can somehow leverage your time to still be in your 9 to 5 and give your energy there while on the side building up your business, that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
So that you don't have that dry spell going into the new without, you know what I mean? Like you don't even know how long it's gonna be before you start getting your first few clients and start getting that income coming in that has a potential to replace what you were getting in your 9 to 5.
Yeah, totally. I think there is just a beauty in having a stable income, but of course there's a beauty in having freedom as well. But I think a lot of times when people want to quit their job, it is because they don't feel fulfilled and they're escaping. But when you start a business, it's full-time 24/7 drill. There is no escaping. At least in a job you can escape, right? But to start a business you cannot escape. So all right, so this lady has gotten this, like she knows she's bored, she transitioned. And what would be your tip in terms of marketing to then promote the business? Because the business is easy to start the business, but then how do you tell people, hey, I'm open for business? And like you say, you need traction, you need time. Just because you're open for business, you may not get the first client in your door on the first day, first hour. You're lucky if you do that, but sometimes you don't. So what is your first marketing strategy to people who kind of like, in the startup phase again?
Yeah. For me, the first thing I did, like I said, was establish some kind of a presence. And I didn't spend thousands of dollars to do that. I just, I bought a domain name, created a WordPress website, which if you're not techie like I am, you can get that done pretty cheaply. Just have the basics in place, your bio, what your business is all about, a way to be contacted. and then you're going to start now with your outreach and your visibility, expanding your reach and letting people know who you are. And I think the best ways to do that are to get into other platforms where your potential audience is gathered. So I like to tell people that I started off with doing guest posts on various publications where I know that my ideal clients would be able to see me there. I started pitching to be on podcasts and blog talk radio shows. I don't know if that many people are into blog talk radio anymore, but I used to seek out opportunities on that. Yeah, right? Because I think most people are doing their own podcasts with their own platforms nowadays.
So this is an evolution right there, right, Stephanie? In the past, It was like you can only host on other people's blog, and then now you can like do it on iTunes, like just like boom, like this. So you have to evolve even in marketing.
Yeah. So that's where I started in terms of getting my footing. I tried to appear on as many virtual stages as I could, doing interviews like this, whether it's video or audio, and having driving that traffic back to my website and making sure when persons landed on my website, they could take advantage of some kind of a free offer to build my list. Mm-hmm. Then I would develop a routine of how often I would email my list, share, how it goes, share tips through your weekly e-zines, and then create experiences like webinars or challenges, etc., that can get them engaged with you, get them involved, getting them seeing who you are, what your expertise, what you're all about, and then making an offer. So, going into a launch like that. Mm. So that's what I would suggest in terms of really getting started. You're going to need to build a platform. And the best way to build a platform is by leveraging other platforms where your potential clients are gathered.
So if someone is really new and doesn't really have a name or have a huge list, you know how it is right now, the Telesummit, you need like 5,000 people on your list. Actually, I have a whole entire view on Telesummits, but never mind, we shall not go there today. But so how does one start? They don't have this 5,000 list, or like you're still new? Would people?
Yeah, I suggest starting. You don't have to do the whole Telesummit route. You can do it very small and organic by having interviews just like what you're doing here. I mean, I truly applaud you for this exercise, because as you say, Telesummits are kind of done to, ad infinitum. I won't say done to death, but a lot of people.
I said it.
Right. So you want to do, whether you yourself start some kind of an interview type series like this, where you invite guests to interviews and have them promote to their audience, or you yourself pitch to be on other type shows like this, or podcasts, or guest posting, and getting your name out there that way, making sure to always lead the traffic back to your website so that you can build your email list. Mm-hmm. And so that's how you're gonna your own group of, or your own pool of people, your own audience who are tuned into you, who can connect with you, see who you're all about, see what your expertise is. And when you do a launch, or you invite them to work with you, they have that know, like, and trust factor, and they feel that they would be comfortable in investing in you to get that transformation that they're after.
So it sounds like it's no matter how small you think you are, just do something, just reach out.
Exactly.
Right? And then start from there. And I think most of us need to remember that most big names start from a small name. So if you don't start today, you'll never be there. But of course, think big, but start from where you are. So
yes.
What problem do you exactly help your clients solve? Because there are many online marketing strategists. So what problem do you solve exactly? And what does that really mean, online marketing strategist?
Okay, so the people that I work with usually are coaches or consultants, and they've been in business for some time. Sometimes they're very seasoned business owners. Sometimes they may be in startup phase, I would say, maybe having been in business for at least a year. And I help them to grow their list. I help them to do this outreach and start getting visible, start making a name for themselves even those, like I said, who were seasoned, but they were doing offline things like networking and getting business from referrals. And they want to now leverage the online space because they want to be able to not just depend on their local business from their local community, right? They want to they want to start thinking and doing business globally. So I help them to expand that reach, start building a community so that they can attract the ideal clients and sign them up into their offers.
So then what's like the difference between you and the virtual assistant? So when you say you help them, do you do the strategies for them, like, or
No.
you just give them the strategy and they do it themselves?
No, I guide them with the strategies in terms of how to how to implement it, but not in a VA type of way. And with a VA, you'd be actually giving your VA actual tasks to do, like your social media posts or your email marketing. You'd actually have to give them the content to do. And I definitely don't. That would be like a done for you type of service. And I actually coach or mentor my clients as to what they need to implement from a strategic standpoint to start getting exposure, start getting more clients and making more money.
I see. So then they would hire you to solve the online problem.
To solve the problem of not having clients or not being able to get clients through their online marketing efforts, or to develop a strategy by which they can now start getting clients through their online through new online marketing strategy that they may not have been implementing before. Because like I said, a lot of my clients come to me having gotten clients through local networking, attending local events, right, as well as getting referrals from people that they actually know in real life.
So what's the difference, right, between you and a marketing, like you're a marketing coach, consultant? What's the difference between you and a business consultant or / coach?
I get more into the marketing strategy. I do actually call myself an online marketing strategy and business mentor because I do help them with the business part as well, creating their packages, setting up systems, organizing their business as to what model works best for them. So I go a little bit deeper than just the marketing, but my focus is marketing.
Right. Awesome. Cool. So why are you enjoying this business so much?
I love marketing. I always have. I love the psychology of it. I mean, like I said, this is what I studied. I knew very early on that this is what I wanted to do. In my undergrad, I majored in marketing, and I knew I was going to major in marketing. It wasn't that
Why do you like marketing so much then? Like you love...
I love the psychology of it. I love the, because I actually, when I was studying marketing, I had to read books like stories about Lee Iacocca, because I didn't go straight into online marketing. That has been since, I got into my business, because I studied traditional marketing. But I've always been intrigued by it. I always liked business. And I went into the marketing direction just because I just like the psychology of it, the ins and outs, the creative part, photo shoots, and coming up with brand marketing strategy, which is what I did in corporate before I started my business on my own. It's just something that I've always been drawn to.
So since then, when you started your course, like, in the university and now, is there a shift in the marketing itself, or there are things that does not change?
There's definitely a shift. What I studied was mostly advertising, in terms of getting your name out there. It was advertising, public relations, grassroots type marketing.
Do you think they still work now with that?
Advertising, just not the same way. So for instance, for my clients and for myself, I definitely would not, even if I had the money, I would not invest in TV ads, because the kind of work that I do, it's so targeted that it would be best for me to invest my money in, say, Google AdSense ads or Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads. You know what I mean? So the basics still work, but now there's a shift towards that interactive type marketing that you get through Facebook Lives, Periscopes, having Facebook pages, and having your loyal customers interact with you. If you notice, the big brands now, they have their Facebook page presence, and they have teams that are assigned to just dealing with the Facebook page and reaching their audience that way, even on the free level, because not all of them are investing. I mean, they may be investing in ads, but they also have people that are assigned to just interacting with their Facebook audience and putting the kinds of posts out there that will intrigue them, that will showcase the company as investing in different causes, or caring about their customers, or even doing market research, dealing with customer complaints. As you know, nowadays
they just complain on Facebook.
Yeah, right. In the past, you'd have to look up to see who's what's the office that deals with complaints, and then write a letter, and it was like a long process. Nowadays, you could be at the point of sale in a Walmart and having an issue with the cashier and just tweet it out on Twitter and be like, this place is work, or something. And I'm sure that they're going to reach out to you and see how they can make good on that bad experience that you had, in order to have you not blast it to all the networks to say, oh, Walmart is the worst place ever. Don't ever shop there, and bring their company brand down. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just so much easier than it used to be in the past to get the word out there about things like that. So yeah, things have changed a whole lot.
So now we can be our own TV stars, right? In the past, it was like, oh, like you can only a certain, like maybe Oprah can appear on TV. Now you can be, so like you can even do your own thing on TV, Facebook Live. So what do you think of Facebook videos? I know it works, but it only works if people are watching it. Do you think it's becoming a little bit of the blend now because everybody's also doing it?
It depends on how you work it. So I think it's a very individualized thing. If you come off as that dynamic personality, if you show the realism which people want to see now, and when you have lights and cameras and hair and makeup as if you're in a news studio, people don't exactly respond to that anymore. They want to see just regular,
right?
Yeah, right. They actually just want to see the real you. They don't care that you're not wearing hair, makeup, and that the background is not some nice
that is
view of the sea.
So that's one marketing shift, right? In the past, it was like you got to be prim and proper. You got to make sure the lightings are good. But now you can just take on your thing and blah 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 blah, and then people actually engage more in this blah blah blah, blah kind of like.
Exactly, right. So it's a matter of you. Yeah, it's a matter of you coming across as real and not hiding anything, taking off the mask, and that's what your potential clients want to see. I mean, if you think of the reality TV stars, and we can name quite a few, I'll just say the Kardashians.
I know, I love them actually. I don't know, I love them. They're so brilliant. They're so smart.
Yeah.
They are great marketing strategists. They are great marketing people.
That's a great case study. The whole thing from inception is a great case study, because at the time, if you recall, when that show started, reality TV was just getting started. And so we were getting a chance to, beyond the headline. So we would hear a headline that, Kim did this tape. But then when we see the real Kim behind the scenes, we actually came to love her.
Yeah.
While in the probably would have called her all kinds of names for having, been caught doing this tape. But we came to love her, came to love her family. And then as the years have gone by, if you notice, even though we see them so much, almost 24/7 on the cameras in the show, they also utilize the social media platforms like Instagram and what else? Instagram and Twitter, and they keep us involved in the loop, even when the show is not even on air, by showing that side of their life even more, making us even more.
Question with this, because this actually leads to another rabbit hole as well, because for them, they are just playing their own characters. But for everyday people like us, sometimes people share too much, or they don't want to share, and then that becomes very awkward. So for people like you and me, I mean, I don't want to share my kids. For them, they're so open, right? Because they're actually paid to do that. And so for me, I became very private of my children. I stopped sharing the pictures of my children because just for privacy's sake, you know. And so then where does this stop for everyday people like us? Where does the line begin and where does it end? Right? Sometimes people just overshow it just for the sake of overdoing it, for the sake in the name of marketing. Then it becomes very distasteful. So where does it end and when does it stop?
I think for us, we can still be open because it's a very individualized thing. So I follow some marketers who do continue to show their kids, not a whole lot, but you will see, you know, on their public pages, their business page, some videos or pictures with the kids. So I think that's a personal choice. But I've also seen it tastefully done where persons will show that personal side. And even though they have a family, quite a big family, you never see the family pics, but you still feel that connection. So videos like just behind the scenes, if you're doing a local event, you know what I mean? A video of a snapshot of the audience, or a snapshot of yourself on stage, or a video, quick video, 30 seconds of yourself behind stage, getting ready to go out and saying, wow, this is a dream come true for me. I can't believe this is happening. I have 100 people waiting outside for me. We sold out the event. And as much as I've always been nervous about speaking, it's happening. I'm about to get on stage. You know what I mean? You do a video like that, and your audience embraces you and they feel like they're a part of your personal life, even though you kind of have the curtains on certain aspects, say like the family aspects. Even if you're on vacation with the family, you could just do a selfie of yourself just to say, wow, I'm finally on a cruise. I've been dreaming about going on a cruise for years, and it's happening. I can't believe this. And just take a picture of yourself, you know what I mean? Or do a video of yourself, a selfie video. But I think it's possible to still show that reality TV type aspect without, getting it too personal, if that's not comfortable for you. Because your audience can tell if you do things out of comfort, just out of school for you, even though a picture with your kids is supposed to be a vulnerable picture, if you really didn't want to do it, that energy comes through. And that's when it becomes uncomfortable and unauthentic. You know what I mean? Your audience can tell usually.
So I think it's going back to your intention. Like for the group, it's a place for me to. It's like 80% of me. On my personal page, my friend's page is 100% of me. But on my business page, it's 10% of me because I post mostly inspirational stuff and the business stuff. So I keep it that way to keep myself sane. So I don't build community on my business page, but I build the trust and just build relationship in the group, because that makes more sense for me. So I think it's just, you have to know where your energy is at. And there was a point in time where I was just so confused because there are so many platforms that will drive you crazy. So I think you just have to decide for yourself what's best for you. And,
exactly.
And like as Stephanie said, if you're doing it for the sake of doing it, if you're posting your pictures, you're selling the photos of your kids just get attention, then first of all, you will feel shit about yourself, and the energy is gonna, it's gonna rub off. So I guess in marketing, there is no right or wrong. You don't have to follow the Jones, but it has to feel good for you. Just like if it works for the Kardashians, if you do it, it might go the complete opposite way for you. So that's why you need a strategist to know your personality, know your background, know your culture, know your thoughts, everything. And I think at the end of the day, if you hire someone like Stephanie, she can see it, but if you don't want to execute it, that is going to rub off in the wrong way as well. So it's sometimes good to, have someone, what do you call this? Like tell you, mastermind with you, kind of like suggest.
Find the right fit, because actually that's what's one of the things that I pride myself in working with my clients. What I have, because there's more than one way to skin a cat, and so there's various marketing strategies that you can execute, and no one is the best or the most right or the most wrong. It's a matter of what feels right for you, because if a certain marketing plan or strategy does not feel right for you, then you're not gonna execute the way that you should. So I do work with my clients to find that right fit, not only in your marketing, but then I put on my business hat and make sure that your business model is also right fit. Because not all of us wants to have a client load that's, say, 10 persons a month. Not all of us wants to be able to be seeing clients 5 days a week. Some persons would rather have client days be 3 days a week and possibly have a client load of 5 in terms of one-on-one clients, but they're able to do work with more people in a leverage business model where they're probably doing live calls, say, once or twice per week with those persons. You know what I mean? So we do work together to find the right fit for marketing and the right fit for your business model and your packages.
Yeah, it's true. Because everything, the packages, the system is lifeless until you bring life to it. So the business owner is very important as well. So you got to figure it out. So thank you so much, Stephanie, for your time. Where can people find more about you? I'm going to leave all her links or social media links on this post, but in case you cannot wait, but where can people find you?
Sure. You can find me at my website, stephanietreasure.com. All my social media links are there at stephanietreasure.com. I also run a group called the Passionate, Purposeful, and Powerful Entrepreneurs. You can find that with a simple Facebook search, or if you go to Bitly, you do bit.ly/PPP for Passionate, Purposeful, and Powerful Entrepreneurs dash entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So it's PPP-entrepreneurs. That's a Bitly link.
Awesome. So thank you so much. I know it's very late for you, so time to go to bed. But
that's okay.
So thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the group, and you can find her on her website. And we'll talk to you soon. All right. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this. Bye, everybody.